Which weight should you go with first? Should you go with a 5-pound club, maybe a 10-pound mace, or maybe a 15-pound club, or just a 3-pound Indian club? What should you pick first? Find out here in this video. Before we get started, if you guys could please like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe share it with your chiropractic friends or personal trainer or physical therapist friends who are looking to get some functional tools. They don't know where to get started. Maybe this will help them. It'll help us spread our word and help other people, okay? So please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us. Thank you guys so much. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? This is one of the most common questions that I get because I was one of the first people at my school to start learning how to use these Indian clubs, right? So after I started learning how to use them, people always ask me, what weight should I get? Should I go with a 10-pound? Should I go with a 15-pound? I will always recommend that you start with the lowest weight first. If you're pretty strong, pretty fit, 5 pounds is going to be plenty to start. Okay, if you've never lifted weights before, then I would recommend you go with maybe a 3-pound or 2-pound plastic Indian club. But if you're relatively strong, if you work out, if you're active, 5-pound steel club is my personal recommendation. And let me tell you why. Because the weight is distributed on the end of the club, that 5 pounds actually feels a lot heavier than a normal 5-pound dumbbell, okay? 5-pound dumbbell, it's really light. It's perfectly balanced between your palm on one side. So when you're lifting it, it's really, really balanced. It feels good. It's easy, all right? When that weight is distributed further on the end of the shaft of the handle, that 5-pound feels a lot heavier. It's gonna feel more like, I don't know, maybe 10 pounds, right? So that's already a click harder. To go beyond that, you're swinging this, what feels like 10 pounds around and around and around. So that weight is pulling you away, right? So it's gonna feel even heavier. So I always recommend that you start with the lower weight, whether that's 3 pounds or 5 pounds. Start to get the movement down, start to get the fundamentals down. You already start breaking up adhesions and moving the fascia around in a positive way without putting extra risk on by trying to add extra weight. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, I've been doing steel club stuff, Indian club stuff, you know, mace throwing, this type of stuff for a couple years now. I wanna say maybe three and a half years. And 15-pound mace is still plenty heavy for me. Even doing it regularly, daily, I'm not focused on how heavy can I get the club, because I don't take my ego into it. I really just want to become the best mover, and I want to have the lowest risk of injury. So I have a 7-pound mace, a 10-pound mace, a 15-pound mace. I use the 7 and the 10-pound way more than the 15-pound. I don't really feel like I want to use the 15-pound, even though I could. If I really wanted to, I could swing this thing around, no problem. But I don't need to in order to get the benefits of it. So maybe you're really strong, maybe you're a much bigger guy than I am. You could start with the 10-pound, but again, I don't recommend it, because if you're using it for personal use, then that's fine, you know, but if you're teaching other people, you're always gonna come across somebody who's gonna need that lower weight, and it's a good idea for you to have that lower weight, to start off with that lower weight, get really, really good, build the foundations and make it safe, and then progress to the next step after you've built a very, very strong fundamental base, okay? It's the same thing with the steel club. You know, I get a lot of people asking me, like, should I go with the 15 or should I go with the 10? And I'm like, dude, you should probably go with the 5, man, because before you know it, your shoulders are gonna be burning, and there's a very, very high likelihood that if you start off with a 10-pound weight, the risk to reward at that particular time is just not there. It's just not a good risk to reward. Because again, if you don't know the proper path for the club to take, and then you put excess stress on that by loading it with 10 pounds, you're just risking more injury, and it's unnecessary. You could capitalize on a lot of benefit with the low weight, with a lower risk of injury. And then when you get stronger, you just have that there because you'll always come back to it to learn new moves, right? So that's my recommendation. If you're thinking about getting a steel club or a steel mace, I think 5 pounds is the best place to start overall. If you're working with people who are elderly, you know, they don't work out their shoulders very often, 5 pounds is going to be probably too heavy for them. So if you're working with the elderly population or people that don't really work out that much, going even lower is going to be better for them. Maybe 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and then when they start to get stronger, you have the 5 pounds. With the mace, same thing. I recommend starting with 7 pounds, maybe 5 pounds. It's gonna feel pretty damn heavy. It's gonna feel pretty damn heavy if you've never worked out with the weight away from you while you're throwing it, so it's pulling you and then you got to pull it back. Okay, so definitely start with the lower weight, get used to it, get strong, build a strong fundamental, and then when you have that, you know, foundation set, just go out and get the other one because they're super durable. They're probably never going to break if you take good care of them. Those tools are going to be around pretty much forever. All right. So that's my recommendation. Don't bring your ego into it. Trust me, the 10 pound, the 15 pound mace is gonna feel a lot heavier than you're expecting. It's a lot different. So that's my recommendation. Start off slow, start off easy, stay safe, and think in spirals, okay? Peace.